Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Laser Sports Academy. I'm here with my boy Holmes. How are you, bud?
I'm doing super awesome. I actually just cut off a chunk of my finger cutting veggies for a Caesar salad. Um,
No.
yeah, I say a chunk. It was like a bit of my nail and a bit of skin, and it did bleed straight away and for a while, but it actually didn't hurt. It was a really good knife. It was a clean cut, straight through. Um, yeah, no. Yes. I'm honestly in a better
Right hand
mood
or
after I
left?
cut my finger off. I don't know why, but it was kind of just funny.
That was the finger that was causing you all kinds of troubles trying to fire the phaser correctly, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, naturally, naturally.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you can still play. That's a good thing.
I'll be fine.
Speaking of which, we've had at least, well, firstly, for everybody listening in, the Zone Laser Tag Australasian Championships has just started. So that's
Mm.
why we're chatting today. Holmes is calling in from ALbury. It's currently day two of a 10-day comp. Today we got through more of the round robin and we got through Masters and Juniors.
Hmm?
So, mate, why don't you just tell us a bit about the vibe? Like, how is it down there?
It's freezing. It's been like reaching like zero or like almost, I think -1, -2 degrees overnight or something. And it definitely feels like it. So that's been all right. I actually just the week before I was in Tokyo, Japan, where it was like humid and warm, and then I've come straight back to this, so it's a bit jarring for me. But no, it's been good. Good to be back in Albury. Um, yeah, I don't know. Did a lot of training. People are pretty much just zombies for the first few days because you're doing some cursed, like, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. training kind of thing. So it's hard to get much out of anyone during that time. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's been
Well, I've got to
it's been
say,
good.
everybody must be pretty prepped from the training because I jumped into the stream last night and game three, I'm watching no, game one actually. I'm watching lockdown games, like
Mm.
four base games from the beginning of the comp. So it looks like everybody's pretty prepped for this one.
Yeah, no, I think I mean obviously like we've played three pre-nuts. All three of the pre-nuts were pretty popular, so a lot of the teams have played. Um, and I think in terms of the meta, it's looking like it's opening up very field pointy, lots of like spreading out for field points, because you don't want to be the one team that's like trying to be aggressive and getting bases when the two other teams are like field pointing, because you're just the team that gets like followed and you just get destroyed everywhere you go. So I think we are seeing a lot of teams open up in a little bit more of a field pointy spready state, putting themselves in positions where they can get bases. But bases aren't the main objective, I guess. It seems like rack up as many field points as you can in the first part of the game. Bases will happen. Hopefully, those bases are yours, and the game kind of starts to open up once teams start to get a few bases, and then we see seeing lots of like three-player smashes, particularly on like the green backdoor and the red backdoor. Just because the distance between them is so close, it's like it is pretty easy to get a bunch of your teammates and just quickly like, let's go over that way for like 10 seconds. We can get a base and be home before anyone can
Yeah.
really capitalize on it. So we're seeing a lot of that. Um, and yeah, naturally, I'm sure the meta will shift a couple times during the tournament, but for the time being, yeah, spreadies and slowly opening up the game until it's just like there's a team that needs to go aggressive to catch up, and then the games like start to open up a lot from there.
Well, there's something we saw a lot in Hobart was that chaos that would happen in the last few minutes, and I presume it was pretty intense in Hobart because the arena was so small. Are we
Mm.
seeing the same level of chaos in Albury, given it's a much bigger arena?
Nah, it doesn't really feel chaotic here, I don't think. Like you see people from quite far, like there is like lots of long sight lines. Um, you can spread out quite far from your base if you're like using your players effectively. So I feel like you can kind of catch on to people pretty early before they're at your base. Um, that being said, there's usually like one or two players on each team, at least in the games that we've played so far, that are just kind of causing a ruckus, running between the sweeps of all of the bases and in the middle and stuff. So that part of it is definitely chaotic, but like the rest of it, at least so far. Like we've only played three round robin games so far, but yeah, it seems less intense, I would say, than Hobart did. And yeah, I think the proximity is a big part of that.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk a bit about the team games so far, mate. Why don't you kick us off with your experience? You guys had a bit of a, I don't know, is this a pattern now? Just you guys start the comp?
Um, I don't know. Honestly, like our training felt really good, felt really productive. Especially the last batch of allocated training we did, we were like feeling pretty confident, pretty like sure about what we wanted to do. And then yeah, yeah, we got into our first three round robin games, and we had two games where like the worst outcome should have been second, but obviously like being a top team, we're wanting and expecting to get first, right? But we had two games where the worst outcome should have been second, and we got thirds. And then there was one tough game, which was us, Catalyst, and Archangels, which we were actually in. We were very much in it for like probably the first half of it, but we didn't feel we were in it, and so we made a call to go aggressive when we shouldn't have, like because we were very much in it. But then going aggressive, like teams were just waiting. Like this is happening a lot where like we're waiting for one team to go aggressive because they need to catch up, and then all the other teams start to go and make their plays off of that. So we were the ones that we went aggressive first, and we ended up kind of throwing away a win because of it. That being said, we also almost managed to clutch that, but there was like a 2-shot deny on us that Catalyst took, and then Catalyst took the base from us, so that was like a pretty big point swing, and that was in the last like minute or something, and that ended up yeah, I think we got a third in that game as well. So yeah, we started off 3/3 for Aftershock on the first day.
Not a problem for you guys. You guys can call that back, no problem.
Yeah, no, we just need we've been licking our wounds all last night and all today, drowning our sorrows. Um, Luckily, like four of us made solos today, like round two. So I think that's got everyone's spirits a bit better. And Benny and Beefy both competed in juniors and masters today, and they didn't make the top five, either of them, but they had like a pretty decent performance. Like they had like, I think for both of them they had two bad drop games, and if one of them weren't a drop game, like they probably could have been top five or even podiuming. So they did really well. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what comes for Aftershock in the future.
Yeah, yeah, just the games I saw, Benny looked really strong in the games I saw, which is a real positive for you guys. And I know how well you guys think about the game, so no doubt you guys will claw it back and figure out whatever needs to be figured out, mate.
Benny's the only individual player that's been playing really well. The rest of us I don't know. We just forgot to play laser tag the other day. It is what it is. Good thing it's a 10-day tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Got plenty of time to catch up. Let's talk about some of the big names out there. How first with the Vikings, coming off their victory from last year. You just mentioned the meta is going to be pretty field pointy at the start. I think that'll suit the Vikings. They love playing 4-base games where Brunch and Twinkles get 2 each, and they just score a bucket load of tags. So
yeah,
I think a team's going to have to try and take that away from them if they're going to beat them this year.
Yeah.
How are the Vikings looking in training and in their round robin game so far?
Yeah, so we versed them in one allocated training game. We haven't versed them in round robin yet, so I can only speak on what I saw on the scoreboards. But they've had it just kind of seemed like a lot of classic Vikings. You know, you see Runt and Twinkles running around everywhere, obviously scoring a lot of field points. And I was talking about like, not necessarily looking for bases, but when the opportunities are there, like you take them. And they're two players that can very much like make those opportunities themselves, and like they don't even need the other person there. They can solo them if they're there together. Like that's they're very scary, doing classic stuff, and their defense seems to be really strong as well. They have had some games that were like razor close. Like I think Riptide was really close to taking a game off them. That was a super good game to watch. And then the next game, I think the next one I watched was like Storm, and I can't remember the third team, but they were like 20k clear, like 40k, and the next was 20k. Wow. So yeah, they've had some pretty significant wins, but also like some really close ones. So I would say they're definitely not looking as maybe imposing as they did in Hobart, but they're very much still like you said. I think the meta will suit them quite nicely, especially if teams don't find a way to change that up or find a way to match them. They're going to do extremely well for sure.
Yeah. And Catalyst boys, how are they looking?
Catalyst boys good. Yeah, I think it definitely in the training we versed them, and at that one round robin game we played against them the other day. Definitely seems like they're still figuring stuff out. I think from what I could see, it seemed like the attack was kind of losing each other a little bit, at least in the game that I saw. Like I saw like Dodge come past, it was like Wax, where are you? And then I saw Wax come past, it was like Dodge, where are you? So they're obviously still figuring out their own stuff. Doesn't help that they like the most recent prenuts they didn't have Dodge with them as well. But I don't know, like no one's got any doubts that they're not going to pick it up super quick, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want to have everything sorted out on day one, really. You want some stuff to work on, don't you?
No, yeah,
Otherwise,
for sure.
you just don't have all your cards on the table a little bit early in the comp. So it's
100%.
nice to have a few things still to work on. So I wanted to have a quick shout out to the One Up guys. Poor buggers lost one of their players, Dan, on the eve of the tournament. So they've managed to pull in low Lance, I hear.
Yeah, Lance is here. Short notice. Good on him.
He made it. Has there been any other injuries or anything yet, or any other changes?
Yeah, there's been a few. I think Mopar, in his first training game he played, unallocated training, it wasn't even his team. I think he was just filling in for another team. He's gone and like dislocated his shoulder or something. So he's not been looking particularly happy. Definitely seems like he's in a bit of pain. That being said, like Masters, he still like when he played today, he still had like a really, really decent performance for someone that just like destroyed their shoulder. Pretty sure he won the first game pretty like comfortably. At least like at the point of the game I was watching, he was winning quite comfortably. Yeah, so there was that. I think there was another Eclipse guy. Noodle got maybe not a concussion, but like he definitely hit his head pretty hard on something. I mean, he's playing now, so he must be okay. I saw Volley had like a black eye and like a busted up nose during training. I think that was his teammate. Pretty sure Pug Salad like somehow managed to whack him in the nose. Nufa during solos today, the game that he got $6,000, like I think it was the last repechage game maybe, or maybe it was the last round one game. But he had a really good game, and he's like been carried out of the arena because he's like whacked his knee on something or whatever. That being said, like later on in the day, he was walking around, so I think the knee should be okay.
That's good.
And there's probably more, but
well,
those are the ones that stand out.
We better stop talking before all the international players like cancel their travel plans for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I also cut my finger off, unrelated to bloody laser tag. That was in the kitchen.
You're probably thinking about laser tag at the time, though, weren't
you? No, I was thinking about not cutting my finger off, and then I just did it anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a bit about the Masters and Juniors. So the winners were Jellyhawk and CV?
Correct. Yes, and we'll have on the LSA channel coming soon will be just a short like 3-minute interview with both of them, just talking about how they felt in there, things that happened, and that kind of stuff. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Huge congrats to those guys.
Awesome.
Also, did I see correctly that Tassie took all 3 podium spots in the juniors?
They sure did, yeah. So first was Jellyhawk, second was Rizzler, and third was Sharia Kitty. I think that was relatively close. And then for Masters, it was CV first, Bubbles at a very, very, very close second, like couple tags difference. And then Moo making his first podium finish from Adelaide in the Masters. In the Masters event. So yeah, he came in third, a little bit behind Bubbles and CB, but yeah, still, he made it. Good on him.
Yeah, good on you guys. And yeah, huge congrats to Bubbles for almost taking his Masters out. It would have been so great to see him. Would have been so great to see him get one.
Yeah.
But you got to get over the big dog, CV, if you're going to take a Masters these days. It's a pretty hard job.
The ultimate Masters gatekeeper.
Yeah, pretty
Mm,
much. Yeah. Okay. Well,
yes.
let's move on to upsets. Is there any other than the ones we spoke about with you guys? Any other upsets? Sorry to say it again. Any upsets that you can come to mind, mate, in
Yeah,
the comp so far?
I think the one that stands out, there was already a meme on the ZLTAC meme page about it, but I think the Quackening took a win off of the Sharks, which
Oh
was
yeah.
definitely an unexpected win, but good on them, a welcome one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we dropped two Heretics and Olympus, so those are massive wins for. Obviously, they didn't win the game, like they came second, but still like coming over us. I mean, we came fourth place last year, and so it was really cool that these teams are even like teams that we've been predicted in like the bottom third, like they're still bringing it, right? So those are the only ones that really stand out to me. I haven't been watching a massive amount of the stream, if I'm totally honest. So there probably is more. I mean, especially like when we're having like games where like the previous ZLTAC champions are like having like some razor thin close wins. Like there's definitely going to be other teams that get upset as well. So
Yeah. If you're out there and you haven't tuned into the stream yet, like it looks incredible
it looks
this year.
awesome.
Like
It's the best it's ever
yeah.
looked, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's everything about it is great. I can't even begin to describe it. There's just all the setups are excellent.
All the
I
bells and
really feel
whistles.
like I can see what's going on. Yeah, I feel like I can see what's going on in the bases as well, really
The cameras
clearly.
are
The
good.
cameras are good quality. Yeah, and they've just got just the right number of scenes to mix it up nicely. They've got a beautiful one with the three cameras and the scores just
Mhm.
listed down the right hand side, which I really like. So, if you want any links for the comp, if you go to zltac.com.au, it's got schedules, it's got all the videos. So as soon as um, the games happen, they're sort of exported out and
Mhm.
uploaded to YouTube, so you can see all the historical games and like rules books and anything else that you need to know. So zltac.com.au has everything you need if you're tuning in internationally and want to know how to access the Twitch stream and everything else. That's where you want to go. And yeah, it was a bit of an interesting welcome to Nat's video as well, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely a first. I mean, I don't. Obviously, in the years I've played, there's never been an opening ceremony like it. So those that didn't know or weren't tuning in, this year they've opted for they did a pre-recorded opening ceremony. Um, doesn't feel very ceremonious, like a big part of the ceremony is like you're seeing all of the teams there. It's usually when teams go and like they show off their jerseys for the first time. So it definitely felt less significantly less ceremonious than the normal opening ceremonies. But from a logistics standpoint, I definitely get it. Like it can be pretty time consuming. Um, if you don't have a venue big enough, like you're having to hire out a venue, that's extra money, extra time, extra effort. So yeah, there's a million reasons why you would do it in a video format instead. So I definitely get it. But as someone like, I mean, my first opening ceremony was the Bendigo 2015 one. Right, so it's
Oh,
yeah. I definitely remember like being there and like turning to one of the more experienced players and being like, "Is this what it's always like?" And they were like, "No, bro, this is crazy." So yeah, no, I get it. But I think there was definitely a lot of people that were a little bit bummed out. But is what it is. They wouldn't. No, Celtic committee didn't make that decision for no reason, right? Or like maybe the site didn't. You know what I mean?
yeah. And tomorrow we've got LOR. Have you got any early predictions for LOR, mate?
Beefy number one, bro. That's
BP
easy
number one.
pick. Previous
Oh,
champ on a first Helios 2 champion on for Lord of the Rings. Yeah. He's been doing pretty good, like in all of our trainings and stuff. Like he's been feeling good on the timing. Classic Beefy. He's got that one move, but no one can shoot him. No one can damn shoot him.
yeah.
Um, so it's hard to not expect him to do extremely well. Like if he's not in the finals, everyone will be very surprised. He's probably the most like consistent lore player in terms of how many finals he's made. Um, so I'm gonna gas him up because he's my teammate as well. But yeah. So Beefy, obviously any of the Hobart guys, especially the Vikings. You would expect them to do extremely well. Having the packs at home, and Runt and Twinkles are very flashy players, so it's not like they've got dodges and the timing and the movement and stuff. CV is always someone that can he can definitely bring it in any game. So yeah, I'd be surprised if there isn't a Hobart player in the finals. Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll finally stop bombing out in round one. Who knows? I'll try
Do
my
it.
damn best.
Do it, buddy. You just need to chop that little piece off your finger to get your balance right.
This is the
You're fine.
difference. It was a bit too much weight. I wasn't able to move fast enough, so I just cut off a couple
Yeah.
grams of my finger.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we're chilling.
Your left hand was always a slightly bit bigger than your right.
Yeah.
That is perfect, mate.
Now it's perfect. No problems.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. Well, best of luck in Law tomorrow, and for the next phase of the comp. I really hope you guys start to get your roll on. I know it'll happen at some point in time. I hope it's sooner rather than later for you guys.
So do we. So do we. We need a pick me up. We were in a very sorry state yesterday. I had talking to people today. They would come up to me and be like, "So what happened? How are you guys?" And we did not look happy last night. I can tell you that much. But it's part of the game, I guess. All part of the Nats journey.
Go hang out with the Archangels for half an hour or something, mate. Just get
True.
some of their juju, mate. That'll lift you straight up.
That's very, very true. 100%.
All right, bro. Well, great to chat to you. Enjoy the stream for the rest of the night or whatever you're doing. I'm going to be jumping back on the stream now. But good luck to everybody else listening in. And we'll be doing updates throughout the competition. We'll be interviewing players throughout the competition as well. So stay tuned into the Laser Sports Academy channel, and we will be in touch and give you all the updates that we can. All righty. Take care.
Easy. Peace.